Welcome back. Time for us to wind up this discussion on State of the Nation, a very interesting discussion on the prospects of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua going towards 2027. But as we make your final remarks, I want to draw your attention to the cartoon on the Standard today. And this is another discussion away from the Deputy President. This one is about shoes. And we've been seeing cartoons about shoes this past week. If my director could assist me with that as well, yes. And there's a gentleman who's been struggling to fit in unusually large shoes, the Wiper Party leader. As you make your final remarks, he has declared himself the de facto leader of the opposition. And there's still contention on that because ODM insists they are still the biggest party, that side of government. He has been your party leader, Bwana Mutambu. You declared you're no longer in that party. But what's your assessment of his capability as a person to fill these shoes? Because the indication is that the shoes are too big to fill.
Let me clarify something. Kalonzo is a very good friend of mine. He's a he's a brotherly figure to me. We may have political differences, but we don't have personal differences. And my problem with him, my political differences with him, where we parted ways, is when he chose to join Raila, and I told him we are losing. And I became an enemy because of saying that. But whatever I've said for the last 15 years has come to pass. So I'm sure wherever he is, he knows back of his mind that Joe told me something. And that's what I stand for. But generally, I have no problem with him. Two, the shoes he's trying to fit in. If I were him, I would not concentrate on that. Because he is concentrating on saying, I'm the official leader of opposition. The leader of opposition is defined in the Constitution. And that office is funded by the government, right? Through the Constitution. And it says very clearly who to be the leader of opposition, either in Parliament, because it is only in Parliament. The rest, anybody else can declare themselves opposition leaders. She can be an opposition leader opposing the government. But legally, it is through Parliament, whereby it is only party with the minority or the majority, with the few, with the numbers, which are second to the ruling party. And that party is none other than ODM. And there is no way that will change. It can only change once election is called and the Wiper garners more members of Parliament. So that is the position. The rest is politics. That I can also be a leader of opposition. Why not? Okay, anybody can be. But when it comes to the actual, what is defined in the Constitution, by the law, it is the party with the majority numbers in minority numbers in Parliament. And that is ODM. That cannot change. So I will not concentrate with this. What I would do as Kalonzo Musyoka, I would seize the opportunity that Raila has run away from our cause, and the Kenyans are agitated, and there is a way Kenyans want to be led, and I concentrate on that, and I forget fighting about who is the leader there, where they are. No. I would be spending my time in Mount Kenya, I would be spending my time in Turkana, I would be spending my time in Mombasa, and not these chief barasas which I see Kalonzo conducting. The areas he normally go to do rallies. It is like a chief barasa, 2, 3, 10 people. They are coming to welcome Kalonzo. We need to be serious. If you want to be the candidate for this country, you need to show, because politics is about perception. Okay. And if you cannot show Kenyans that you have muscle to marshal them, to bring them together, then they will not even, they will say, the shoes are too big. And that is the problem. And those now the shoes are being revered by this cartoon. Okay. Number two, because I think I want to...
It's final remarks for everyone now.
Yes. Number two, she mentioned something which caught my attention, that Gachagua is a super... I don't know the name you gave him.
Political animal.
I will not give him that name. Because a political animal, a super one, you don't pile skeletons in your wardrobe. What did Gachagua do when he wanted to campaign for Ruto? He went ahead insulting Uhuru in his own backyard. That is a skeleton in his wardrobe which he kept. He went ahead and insulted Raila. That's a skeleton he kept on. Now today he is forced to swallow his words. Whatever he said about Uhuru, now he's very busy trying to undo that, which is costing him a lot. Whatever he said about Raila, He is now trying to undo that, which is costing him very much politically. A political animal, you stand with your stand. What you believe in. Come rain, you elect me, you don't elect me. This is what I think is good, and this is what I stand for.
Okay.
You stand with your conscience. It's not because you are swayed away because of a reason that if you don't do this, we'll mobilize people to impeach you. Let me tell you, and I say it on the TV, there is no way you can impeach Gachagua today. You cannot. Because even if all the members of parliament gang together and they vote him out, Gachagua will head it to court. Because there's a reason, there are procedures of removing a deputy president.
Okay.
And if he has committed none of those, whether you like him or not, he will still remain the deputy for Ruto until the end. Okay. They cannot do nothing with Gachagua.
I have only 2 minutes, so I'll give you each one of you a minute for your final words. So
I think, as they say, a prophet is never accepted in his home backyard, and he comes from the same backyard as Kalonzo. And he would not even appreciate what Kalonzo and the rest of the team are doing. That is Kalonzo, my party leader, Honorable Eugene Wamalwa, and the rest are doing. As he mentioned, he is expecting Kalonzo to be going across the country, different parts of the country, Mount Kenya, Mombasa. I mean, wasn't Kalonzo just 2 weekends ago in Mount Kenya with proper reception? Wasn't Kalonzo just this weekend in Coast, the places that he is mentioning? I think we need to give credit to where credit is due. Okay. The current opposition as it is right now, whether we want to talk about and I am a lawyer, I understand where the law comes from when we say that there is a properly constituted opposition. The truth of the matter is that in the minds of Kenyans, an opposition is a group of people fighting for their interests. So whether those people have the majority of the minority numbers in parliament or not, they don't care. So long as you come out as strongly fighting for them, you are an opposition. And as it stands right now, they are the only people fighting for the interests of Kenya. Oh. They are the only people who have stood with the young people, and not just the young people, with the Kenyans right now, during these particular times when we are saying that the government is not working, that the cost of living is high, taxation is high. So we must give them credit where credit is due. We must support their efforts, because if it is clearly showing us that they can stand with us, then they deserve to be given, the opportunity to lead us when the next time for elections come.
May I think for the first time, I have seen and witnessed a different Kalonzo Musyoka. All the past records of Kalonzo has been in doubt because he was neither here nor there, and he's always been nicknamed a white melon, watermelon. But in this particular point in time, Kalonzo was very firm. When there was a sharing of a cake and it was being duped that this is the cake, he stood firm. This to me was quite a different. I could call Kalonzo here today. I can call him Paul. His representative was Saul, but I can call him Paul now. And for sure, it is not even difficult for him to fill the gaps of these shoes, because one, he has been carrying the matter of one Kenya. Yes. Then, to fix in the absence of Laila, then the Asmio is not dead, and therefore he carries the whole rest of the team. And with the team of Eugene Wamalwa and the rest, who are at his back and supporting him, I would say he can still carry the mantle. He only requires a team to push him together.
Thank you so much. James Gakuya, MP Embakasi North, Ruth Ambogo, lawyer and member of the DAPK party, and Joe Mutambo, former MP Mwingi Central, for your very well considered opinions on the issues we've discussed right here on State of the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our State of the Nation. A look at the big headlines, and of course, the president being in China, accompanied by none other than Raila Odinga. A lot more coming after the break. A discussion on risk of being a loan guarantor. We'll be having Ruth Tanui, advocate of the High Court, in studio to explain to us that. And later on, matters health, bio-repeal treatment, matters skincare as well. Do stand by for that. My colleague Stanley Nyaringita will take you through that. My name is Fred Ndimuli. Have a lovely day.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwa watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote. Angusha.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 17 minutes past the top of the hour. I'm clutching onto this hot cup of kahawa because it's too cold in Nairobi. Very chilly. I don't know where you are, how the weather is looking like, but then it's about to get even hotter. Karibu sana to Morning Cafe. I'm used to Stanley Nyiringita. This particular morning, we discuss law matters. Now, imagine this. You finally join a circle that your friend or family member has been advising you to for months. Months later, after saving up in this particular circle, the same family member or friend asks you, you know what, be my guarantor of a loan that they want for you. So you quickly sign for this particular loan application form without even reading it, thinking, you know what could go wrong? A few months later, you realize your salary and SACCO shares have been reduced and deducted because your friend used the loan for holiday while your salary and SACCO shares are being garnished. This morning, we debunk what your rights as a guarantor should be with the help of an advocate of the High Court, Ruth Tanui. Karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for gracing us. You're not a new face for this panel, but then there might be one or two
are a couple of viewers seeing you this morning and they're wondering, who is she? So we could start off with that, just briefly telling us who Ruth Tanui is.
Okay, so I'm Ruth Tanui, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I'm also the founder and managing partner of Ruth Tanui and Company Advocates. Yes.
Right. I love your tagline on Ruth Tanui Advocates, solving the legal quizzes.
Yes.
Yes. So for our conversation for today, it is a conversation that touches many. And back at home, wherever you're watching us from, you can tell us, because our question of the day for you is, what is your experience? Tungependa sana kujua. Your experience being a loan guarantor. Being that person that decides, you know what, I'm going to guarantee a loan for someone else. In case they do not pay, I'll be there and I'll be their shoulder to lean on. What is your experience? What is the experience of a friend or someone you know as well? 22047 is our SMS number. 0793-267-279 is our WhatsApp number. When you text us, I'll be looking at them and I'll be saying them and asking Wakili all those questions. You can also call us live 0795-045-864. Tutafurahia sana kusikia sauti yako. What you do is you tell us your name, where you're calling us from, mute or have your TV off kindly, and then ask all those questions pertaining becoming a loan guarantor, in case you're actually thinking about it. So we should actually start from there, Wakili. If you're thinking about becoming a loan guarantor, someone in the hypothetical we've begun with, you know, either family or a family member or a friend, these are people who you can really trust. Wakukujia kuambie, manze, first of all, they tell you, join this particular circle, and then months later they tell you, unaona ile circle tuko pamoja na wewe, si ukuwe guarantor wangu, and then you quickly just sign it. What are some of these things you should be thinking about as a guarantor?
So first of all, most people, I think 90% of people normally sign, you just even brought the forms, you don't even look at the guarantee agreement, so you don't know what the terms you are binding yourself into. So the first thing, it's very important for you to understand the terms, because as the Law of Contract Act has defined a guarantor is the one you promise to honor a debt by a debtor or a principal debtor or a borrower. So that means it's very important for you to understand those terms, because there's normally, how long are you binding yourself to that loan? This person will just come and tell you, I'm taking a loan of 500,000 and I'm repaying. Sometimes, so there's normally types of guarantees, either you are limited or unlimited guarantee. So you may find sometimes you may just be ensure you know whether you're guaranteeing yourself to that 500,000 alone, or you're guaranteeing yourself unlimited wise. In a case whereby this person has taken 500,000 this month, then after 3 months, they add another amount, they take another amount. So sometimes by signing that contract, by guaranteeing that person, you might be guaranteeing any further debts that they're going to accumulate.
Right.
So it's important for you to understand the terms. Go through the terms. What will be, if in case this person, first of all, you should ask yourself, why is this person being guaranteed? Because you know, sometimes, most of the times you find, sometimes it's a requirement of the SACCO, but most of the time you find maybe this person is not trusted because of the credit score. So they have to bring in a guarantor now. The guarantor is now the one who is going to be trusted.
Right.
Yeah, so it's important for you to know the financial position of this person. The important thing is also those terms, and then understand in case this person defaults, how do I come in? At what time do I come in? Is it immediate, or there's a condition that has to be fulfilled? Because you know, sometimes there are some loans whereby the terms is that immediately, if you guaranteed me a loan of 1 million and then I fail, and I'm paying monthly maybe 10,000, and then I fail this month, so sometimes some are immediate. So it's important for you to understand what you are binding yourself into. So I would advise, never sign an agreement, a guarantee agreement, or never become a guarantor to a loan agreement that you don't understand the terms that you're coming into. Remember, you're not even a beneficiary here of that. Whatever this person, the money that person is taking, you're not going to be a beneficiary of it.
Yeah,
so
like in hypothetical, this particular person alichukua loan, ameenda trip mahali, ameenda holiday mahali, unabaki ukilipa. And you'd mentioned about the guarantor form, which I'm pretty sure even for the viewer now, they're very interested in knowing how, paint us a picture how this guarantor form looks like. I know you've touched on the number of details in Ezakuwa nayo, but then, so this guarantor form, if I have it here, what kind of details does it have? What do I need to know about this form?
So normally for most, the one I know, like Sharia SACCO, LSK SACCO, most of them, the guarantor, the form itself doesn't, you have to get the agreement, because it normally has your name, whether you're a member of the SACCO and the amount that you're guaranteeing. And now you put in your signature.
Okay.
That's why I normally say it's important for you to first see the agreement. Because most of the time the form is just that simple. You're just guaranteeing. Because you find because sometimes you're taking 1 million and they need someone to guarantee every 100,000. So you find you're looking for 10 guarantors. So they just, you normally put your name, whether you're a member of the SACCO or your profession. If you're not a member of the SACCO, or your profession and the amount that you're guaranteeing. So you may find you're guaranteeing someone 100,000, 200,000, then you put in your signature. That's why I was advising people, the moment you get the form, find out, understand the agreement, the terms you're binding yourself to. Ensure you ask for those terms that you're binding yourself to. Yeah, because most of the time the form is just that simple. So for you, you're like, this is my friend, this is my colleague. I'm sure they are going to abide by they are going to pay that loan. But things happen. This person might, the salary, maybe they might lose their job. So that's why it's important for you to understand those terms.
Right.
Yeah.
So in these terms and conditions, am I supposed to ask this person who is now borrowing this loan and they're coming to me as a guarantor? Should I ask them, what is the purpose of this loan?
Yeah, it's important for you to find out first what is, because you know, if as much as we know each other, I'm your colleague and everything, you have to know what's the purpose of the loan. Because I might be getting the loan to travel. You know, do you want, you know, then you ask yourself, is this something you want to, you know, you may not see it as an urgent thing. If it was for medical, you might see, it's important for you to ask this borrower. But now in the part of understanding the terms, it's important for you to understand on your own terms. Look at it yourself, make sure you understand yourself. Because you know the borrower, the interest is for you to sign that loan agreement. So they may not be the best people to explain for you what you, so maybe you may just ask them, why are you getting this loan? How much are you getting? So that at least you understand from that perspective. But when it comes to understanding the terms further, it's important for you to look at, read, I advise someone as a guarantor, remember you're the one who's going to suffer the repercussion. Go through it yourself. Go through it yourself, ensure you understand. Any clause you don't understand, make sure you maybe consult a lawyer, make sure you find out and understand the terms you're binding yourself into. Yes.
Right. Is there a certain amount of money that is limited? Because I remember that some weeks ago, I was talking about the small claims court and the kind of focus and the monies that, if it's, let's say, below $1 million shillings, for small claims court as well as now for this, how is it related? If, for example, someone went to loan, let's say 50K, or rather a loan that is below that particular amount, do you go to the small claims court for suing?
Okay, when you know now the suing will come in, especially if, as the guarantor, we're talking about the guarantor here, because now we have the lender, then the borrower, then the guarantor. So as the guarantor, you have the circumstances you're going to sue, of course, is if the borrower defaults and you are forced to pay on your own, from your own money.
Okay.
That's now where the ground now you'll come in to sue. That's where, if he continues paying and everything goes well, you'll not need to sue. But the moment this person defaults, now they'll start coming for your property. So that's why you have options. You can decide to clear that loan, or you also have a right by there to ask the principal debtor. That's why you normally see some people, guarantors, they even take now the lender. If maybe most of the time these creditors or the borrowers, like, they cannot be found. So that's why you find the guarantor trying to play a role in assisting the lender to get this person. You have a right first, you can ask him, the borrower, to pay the loan, and if not, you can either pay the entire loan that they have, and then you take now, we call it the subrogation law, whereby now you take the position of the lender, you seek the entire amount. Then now you can go to court. Now that now will determine the amount you're seeking.
Right.
So for instance, of course, if it's less than $1 million, you can take it to the small, but if it's more, now it will depend. Yeah, because if it's even more than 20 million, depending on the amount, you have to go to the High Court.
Right.
Yes.
Again, now let's use some of these hypotheticals, even for the viewer. We might say some of these big words and wapoteki kidogo. So we have Peter as well as, let's say, Simon here as a hypothetical. And Peter is, let's say, the guarantor. Mwenye anasaidia Simon kulipa hideni.
Yes.
And Simon fails to actually pay. So just to debunk it pole pole tu vizuri. So Simon has let's say about let's say a year. 12 months to repay a loan he had taken from either the bank, and you'll also be telling us how different for the banks are as well as for the SACCOs, as well as other financial institutions as well. So Peter Ju alikuwa guarantor wa Simon, na Simon anafaa alipe hideni in the next, let's say, 12 months. For example, he took this loan from let's say Tanui Bank
Yeah.
So Tanui Bank has to tell Simon that ulichukua loan January, unafaa kumelipa by December. So that means by, let's say, November, anafaa kukumbushwa.
Yeah.
Now, for this information, when the bank, or rather any financial institution, is putting out those reminders, is Peter also informed that every single time that we kumbuka, by the way, loan ya Simon inafaa ikuwe imelipwa, so pia wewe karada?
Yes, Peter, so rights of Peter as a guarantor, one of the rights is lazima kuwa informed.
Okay.
To be updated on the payment of the loan. They should also be getting the updates.
Okay.
And then if in case now, because they're getting the updates, if maybe they are paying monthly, maybe 10,000, if there's, or maybe they're supposed to have paid by November, and in case now Simon ajalipa, Peter is allowed now to ask Simon to pay. They can ask Simon to pay without even the lender or now the Tanui Bank asking him. So those are some of the rights you have as a guarantor. You have a right to be informed of everything that is happening. You also have a right, if in case he defaults, you're supposed to also be informed. So that the first thing should not be, it's now the bank coming to your doorstep. Yeah, you have a right to be informed that Peter has defaulted.
Right.
So that at least you have a period. Because you know, when you're being informed, of course, they'll give you timelines. So that at least you can have an option of now pushing Simon to make, as Peter now, you push Simon to make payments.
Okay.
Yes.
So, hypothetical again, Peter ndio guarantor, pale nyumbani ndio elewa hizo vitu pole pole, and then Simon ndio mwenye amechukua ideni. So, ifike mahali, because we had said in our hypothetical that Simon amechukua deni January, anafaa lipe December.
Yes.
Ifike mahali July, Peter one hapana, wewe by the way, Simon, ulinicheza. Hii loan hii, na venye mimi naona my own, as Peter, venye mfuko yangu inakaa, siwezi kukusaidia kulipa hii loan. Can Peter resign, quote unquote, to become a guarantor hapo katikati?
Yeah, so now that's where now we come to the terms of that agreement you entered. So that's why those are some of the things that at the beginning Peter akiingia anafaa kuwa make sure it's included in the guarantee agreement. Because sometimes guarantee agreement maybe has stated that lazima you must pay this loan to the end.
Okay.
The period, that's why it's either limited or unlimited. So if it's for the period, if this loan is supposed to be paid within 1 year, so the loan agreement is normally specific on whether you are guaranteeing for the entire year. So if the loan agreement has stated that you are guaranteeing for the whole year, you can't pull away. You know, that's a contract. You can't, unless you renegotiate with the bank, you do another renegotiation. But unless, and it's only circumstances whereby, and also another thing, if the bank varies, if the bank varies the agreement in any way, as Peter must be informed, because sometimes, you know, interests are increased and everything.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so as Peter must be informed. Apart from being informed how Simon is paying the debt, he must also be informed in circumstances where anything is varied. If it's varied without your consent, those are some of the grounds Peter can pull away. They are normally grounds you can pull away from the guarantee automatically because they have varied the terms of the contract. Remember, it's only that contract that's binding you, the guarantee agreement or contract. So the moment they vary it without your consent, that's when you can. But the moment those terms bind you, you can, unless you give leeway in the agreement for you to pull away.
Okay.
At a certain, when certain circumstances come up.
So inamaanisha mikono ya Peter imefungwa.
Yeah, imefungwa. And that's something most people, they don't, that's why they realize when it's too late. That's a contract you bind yourself. And the moment you go to court, court cannot rewrite your contract.
Oh, for real?
Yes, because when I said at the beginning, the law of contracts states that for some guarantees whereby there's an agreement in writing and you have signed. So you're binding yourself. That's why when a guarantee agreement must encompass all the contracts, like the elements of a contract. There must be an offer, there must be acceptance, consideration, it must be legally binding, there must be consideration and all that. So that's why you are bound by that contract. So as long as you have signed and the terms, that's why it's very important for you to look at those terms. Yes.
Right. I actually have a caller all the way from Kangemi. Tunaongea na nani? And Simiyu, habari asubuhi? Na Simiyu, habari asubuhi?
Mzuri.
Asante sana kwa kutupigia. Uko na swali ama ni maoni?
Niko na swali.
Yes.
Kulingana na mjadala yenye naendelea saa hii.
Yes, tafadhali.
I am a victim.
Okay.
Mzuri.
Na Simiyu, tafadhali.
Niko na swali.
Kabla uendelee, zima TV.
Zima. I am a victim.
Yes.
I guaranteed somebody
Okay.
na yeye alidefault.
Okay.
So I'm supposed to offset that loan.
All right.
It's something to do 1 point something.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any law? Because this man is live,
Okay.
is working, he has a company, all his errands are moving, but he has decided to pay this loan.
Okay.
Is there a law to govern us? Because now the SACCO tells us to go and look for this man.
Right.
You know, with my own power alone, I cannot do that. Because I go to him, nitalipa, he's not paying. Mambo yake inaendelea, akona kampuni, akona pesa. Is there a law to at least to cushion us? Because it is very painful.
Right.
Because when you guarantee somebody, it is out of goodwill.
Okay.
Yeah, it is just out of goodwill that Niko Naimani, this man will pay this money.
Yes.
Then after a very short time, anakuwa mkora. I'm only asking, is there any way that the law or something can be done to cushion us? Because I know I'm not the only one. But quite a number.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you very much, Nasimio Salimia sana watu wa Kangemi. She says she's not the only one and she's right. Yeah. And she said it's definitely a goodwill. Unasema wewe juu tumetoka mbali na wewe, wacha tusaidiane. She asks a very pertinent question. Kuna sheria hapo ya kumsaidia?
Yes, so there are remedies for remedies or defenses for guarantors. So like in her circumstances, she can claim that she can go for bad faith. Because this person, as from her conversation, she's saying that this person is a person who can cater for that loan. But first, even before you go there, people should know by the time you're guaranteeing someone, the lender has a right to, they don't have to, there's no law that allows them to first go for the debtor or the borrower. They have a right, you guaranteed that the moment they stop paying, they can come for, you as the guarantor, you're obligated. So that's why either you normally, now there are normal remedies. The first remedy that you have is you can either reimburse that, you can pay that loan and then now sue now the defaulter, the borrower. But the other option is, if in instances where there is bad faith, whereby you can prove to court there was bad faith, misrepresentation, fraud, so such an instances court can consider, or court can look at the circumstances and you can like at least use that as a ground for you to be allowed not to pay that loan. So that's why it's important, like, but now you have to prove it. So you have to prove that, for instance, when there's a lot of misrepresentation, because this person, from what she's saying, he even has companies, his business is running well, so he's intentionally not paying the loan. Because sometimes there are normal circumstances where the lender, especially these circles there are some circles, not all of them of course, they collude with the borrower, so that, because they know, it's normally, some people do it as a business. So for instance, they know, of course, they take advantage of that loophole, whereby they know immediately they fail to pay the loan, as the lender, as the bank, you can go directly to the guarantor. So some use it as a leeway. So that's why the first option is just to make sure you don't get to the part of the auctioning and everything, where you have control. You can just decide to clear that debt. And then but that's why the terms are very important. Then immediately after clearing that debt, you can sue the borrower. You can sue the borrower. Right. So if you pay the entire loan, if for instance you pay the entire sum, you can immediately after paying, you can now sue so you get the rights as though you are the lender.
Now for that one, does the law of contract still apply, or does it change to others? Because now I'm not dealing with bank on this, because unakumbuka ile hypothetical yetu mtazamaji, we had said we have Peter here, yeye ndio guarantor, as well as Simon, yeye ndio amechukua ideni. So mimi Peter amelipa hiyo deni, so wamemalizana na whatever bank was there, so sena deal na Peter na Simon too. So does this mean that the law of contract is still applied, ama sasa ni kati ya wawili tu?
No, so normally in this issue of guarantors, there's the law of subrogation, whereby you become the lender.
Okay.
You get the rights, automatically get the rights of the lender. So it becomes as though you're the one who was the lender too. So it's like Peter is not the bank, it's Peter who lent the money to Simon. So you automatically get those rights.
Right.
Yes.
So Nasimiu had asked that particular question. I hope umejibiwa. If you feel like kuna mahali unataka pia clarification, usiogope kupiga simu. And that goes to everyone watching us. 0795 045 864 is the number to call us live. 22047 is our SMS number. More SMSs are coming in on our WhatsApp number, so you can also text us 0793 267 279. Wakili, there's something that Nasimiu had mentioned about her security. Akisema that hata kuwa na uwezo ya kwenda to this man and kumwambia nilipe pesa yangu. I mean, money is quite emotive, really, naturally. Yeah. And your story, because she had mentioned about 1.5 million cash shillings thereabout. This is a lot of money. Yeah. This can cause chaos and all that. In this, can you involve, as the guarantor now, can you involve police in this case to have the lender, now the defaulter, mwenye ulikume guarantee, we involve police hapa?
So, you know, the moment you involve the police, it becomes, remember, there's civil and criminal matters. Yes, yes. So the police always comes in when it's the criminal nature, when you want to, it's punitive, punish the person, maybe you want the person to be arrested. So unless maybe you do it on your own, but normally the best is going the civil way, because you want your money, the money to be paid. And in case circumstances whereby they take, you have to pay that money, at least you want to be repaid back. So the best option, but normally, if the lender has given from, I don't know if for her there's a security that this person had given to as part of the loan, because the moment if there's a security, they offset this. You know, sometimes they normally give maybe a salary, they take pay slips or the logbook, but then sometimes the lender returns back without your knowledge. So you know there was for you when you're guaranteeing the loan, you knew there was a security that had been placed. Okay. So that was some of the things that gave you comfort in signing that guarantee, because you knew if this person doesn't pay this loan, at least they have that security that they can sell. They can sell to get the money back. So the moment, if there was security, they have said some creditors, they collude with the borrowers. So if there was security, for her case, if there was a security, and maybe that security was offset before the loan was paid, that's another ground that she can sue in court. Because now you sue basically to just, because these people have varied the contract completely. You're no longer bound by that contract. So you sue to be removed as the guarantor. Yeah, so that's one of the things whereby there's security. And in the circumstances where there's a recent court case whereby a court stated, as the lender or the bank, the creditor, you have options of either going for the guarantor or the borrower. So if you decide to go for the borrower, maybe sell a land, and then in case maybe this land doesn't offset the amount, you're not legally allowed to now go back to get the balance from the guarantor. That's what court ruled. That's the latest ruling that the High Court had ruled. Yeah, so even for circumstances where if there's a balance that has remained, and it's as a result of maybe a security that was disposed of, maybe land or whatever you said, logbook, you have a right to, you can still go to court, because court has stated that it's either the lender does simultaneously going for both to get both money, but they cannot first start with the borrower and then come back to the guarantor.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. There's a question, I don't know if it still relates to what you're telling us. Good morning, I'm Mike from Zimmerman. Mimi kama mwenye nachukua ideni naweza kuwa na guarantor wawili?
Yes, but they normally allow more than 3 guarantors.
Or more than 3?
More than 3, like you can get even, there was given an example, even 10. Wow. It depends with the amount you're getting and the terms the SACCO, the microfinance or the bank want. So it's normally it's SACCOs who do these things of guarantors mostly. So you may find even can be 10 guarantors. So another thing here is even for the Nasimiu, if you are, sometimes and I know most SACCOs, it's rare for them to take 1 guarantor. They normally take at least minimum, most SACCOs, but it's very rare. Maybe they take minimum 2, 3. So it's, remember you are 3 guarantors. So so that means if it's 1.5, it's divided by 3.
By 3.
Yeah, so you're not supposed to pay the entire. That's something else that people don't know. Because sometimes when I bring for you the forms, maybe I don't give you the details of telling you this. I have, like, other 4 people have guaranteed me, you're my 5th guarantor.
Okay, right. So, Peter thinks that he's the only guarantor.
Yeah, in our scenario, so Peter might think he's the only guarantor.
Okay.
So you must find out who are the other guarantors. Because now what also happens is, so for you, if it's 1.5 and you are 3 guarantors, or depending, you divide the amount. So you're not the only one who pays that amount.
Can Peter sue Simon for not telling him that there are other guarantors involved in this?
No, you know, by the time you sign that contract, it's assumed you had all the due diligence. You did that's why it's important you do your due diligence. It's just like purchasing land. If you didn't do your search and everything, you know, now maybe go and seek for your yeah. So it's important for you to do your own due diligence. So that's why those are the questions you're supposed to ask from the beginning before you put your signature on the guarantor, the list.
All right. And I feel like now this changes our scenario to from Peter. Now we have other two Peters here, and now Simon who is taking this loan. When it was just the two of them, it will have seemed to be a nice brotherly agreement here.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Wewe umeshindwa sawa. Mimi nitafanya hivi, mimi nitalipa, lakini tuko na wewe. Wewe lazima unilipe hiyo pesa.
Yeah.
Now when you have 3 other people here, for example 4, having these 4 people as guarantors who are dealing with a defaulter is seems to be a very difficult situation. Don't you think?
Not really. I think even the reason SACCOs do, I feel it's because to ease, so that, you know, they don't, because, you know, it's to spread. That's why if someone is, most SACCOs, if they're giving you, I know of a friend was taking like, I think $1 million, and he was made to get at least 10 guarantors. So you see 100,000, 100,000. So they are trying to spread the risk. So that at least they know 100,000, from now the people who are guaranteeing 100,000 will not be a lot of money to follow up someone. So it will be easier. So that, and you know, for you, as if Peter now has other 3 guarantors who have guaranteed this loan, and maybe for him, first legally he cannot be the one who is being followed by the lender. Everyone, the lender has to go for everyone. And in a circumstances where now Peter didn't know, if Peter pays without knowing, he can seek the other balance from both the borrower and also these other guarantors.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. But then, so in this case, all right, before we have this, being told you have a caller from Kakamega. Tuambie jina, I hope umemute TV ama iko off.
Yes, my TV is on.
It's off.
No, it's on. Niweke off.
Weka mute kabisa, as long as tusisikie sauti. Yes. Yes, continue.
Nimeona kuna mjadala inaendelea.
Yes.
So, nilitaka niulize on behalf of my sister, she's a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, in Kirinyaga.
Right.
And yeye ni member wa SACCO fulani kule Kirinyaga.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, continue, tunakupata.
So, guarantee some 3 individuals alone.
All right.
Na one of them was interdicted.
All right.
But 2 of them waliamua kuchange pay point.
Okay.
So anakatwa pesa kwa niaba ya hawa wawili. So she's stranded, anashangaa afanye nini because hakuna kitu anapata kabisa. So my question is, why is it that our SACCO, why is it that waliruhusu mtu ambaye akona loan yao abadilishe pay point? Yes, and yet ni member wao.
All right.
Now the burden lies on the guarantor. So when the guarantor went to complain, wakamwambia ulisign and we cannot change.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Na watu bado wako tu wana earn their salary, but the issue is they change the pay point.
Okay.
Mbona mruhusu mtu a change pay point and yet he or she has your loan?
Right. Thank you for that.
Yes.
It's Beatrice, right?
Yes.
Asante sana. Salimia sana watu wa Kakamega.
Yes, natoka Kakamega, but whoever I'm asking on behalf ako Kirinyaga.
Okay, sawa. Asante sana for that. Wakili?
Yeah. So that one, clearly there was a variation of the contract. And the fact that even the guarantor went to ask why this was changed, they were not consulted. Because every time you change the agreement, the guarantee agreement, you have to consult the guarantor. So here, the fact that the pay point was changed, the contract has completely been varied. So the sister has a legal right. She can pull away from that guarantee because the SACCO went against they have varied the contract. Yeah, so she can pull away from it. Yes, because allowing them to change the pay point has affected her, and she was not consulted. So they varied the contract without her consent. Yeah, so it's something she can pull away because that's variation of contract.
Right.
Yes.
There's a quick one here. Mudosi from Syokimau. Good morning, Wakili and TV47. What are the requirements of becoming a guarantor?
So it varies from circle to circle. So of course, because for instance, if by the time most circles maybe they require someone to have a certain amount of, to be paid a certain amount of salary, they ask for the pay slip of the guarantor. Others, if you're part of the, most by the they normally go for now, if you're part of, that's why they insist. Most circles insist you have to be part of the circle. Your guarantors must be within the circle.
Right.
So of course they know your savings, your shares and everything. Yeah, so that will now determine how much now this person can guarantee you. Yeah, so it will depend. Yeah,
Right.
with the terms of the circle, or the micro, or the bank that you are getting the loan from.
Right.
Yes.
Something else that Quite has, if you have ever taken the Higher Education Loans Board, you definitely know about matters guarantors, but then tuko na Mulaki kutoka Kakamega. Leo watu wa Kakamega, watu wa Ingo. Habari asubuhi Mulaki.
Mzuri.
Asante sana kwa kutupigia. Ni swali au maoni?
Ni swali.
Tafadhali uliza. I hope TV iko off, sauti?
No, my TV is not off.
Yes,
Should I lower the volume or should I put it off?
Put it off or lower the volume so that we have a seamless conversation. Endelea na swali.
My concern is this.
Yes.
That I was, somebody forged my signature and took a loan of 3.9 million from a circle. In fact, it's the IG circle.
Okay.
So I didn't know about it later. Since I was a member, a letter was written to me. They wanted me to repay that loan.
Okay.
A loan of 3.9 million. When it was in default, two of us were portioned the repayment.
All right.
Two guarantors to repay a loan of 3.9.
All right.
And imagine the two of us could not even take that loan from the same circle. We would not be allowed to take because our earnings would not allow us to.
Okay.
We took up the case, went to court, went to the DCI. They did the forensic whatever.
All right.
It was established that it was a forgery.
Okay.
But seriously, when the case went to court, the court threw us out and said we had signed.
Wow. Right.
Now, we find ourselves in a very bad situation because, like, I had to lose all my savings because I was actually exiting. I was actually retiring. The other guarantor is still in service.
Sorry about that.
And it's like if we have to recover this loan from her, she'll recover. It will be for the rest of her life.
Okay.
Because she's earning peanuts.
Right.
What would be the advice in a circumstances like that? Because we have lost. The loan has not been repaid. We went to court. The court threw us out that we had signed. When I went to the society to check the guarantors, there were 15 guarantors.
Okay. Right.
Our names were appearing among the 15.
Okay.
Now, seriously, the other 13 were waived off, and the two of us were apportioned the repayment.
Okay.
What would be the advice in this situation?
Thank you for that, Mulaki. Sorry about that particular incident. Katu Rada Wakili will be giving you the answer. Wakili?
So I want to know why the court threw them out, because one of the remedies or defenses as a guarantor you have is they have said if there's misrepresentation, fraud. Here it's fraud. Someone forged your signature. So the moment you go to court, of course, your grounds, you'll be telling court that I didn't guarantee this loan. And therefore, they have good grounds. They will not even qualify for a 3.9 million loan. So and there were other 13 people. On what grounds were these other 13 guarantors waived, and the only 2 people remained? So that's why I would really want to, because legally, that's your option. The moment someone, because even right now, you might be even seated here, and then you just walk out and someone comes and be like, we are from this, you're supposed to pay us this amount. Of course, the repercussion you have is you'll have to file a case in court under certificate of urgency, telling court for you never signed any document. So that's why I don't understand why court threw that matter out. Or maybe, but anyway, sometimes also maybe it's the lawyer that filed the case.
Okay.
Because in your case you have to be very specific. What court also doesn't do, they don't argue the case for you or they rewrite the case for you. Because here, so long as you prove fraud, and for them, he has said this, he even has forensic from the DCI to show that the signature was forged. That's enough evidence that they would have used from the forensic expert from DCI and presented it before court, telling court even it has been confirmed by the DCI that my signature was forged. So meaning this loan I did not, because the only way the court is saying that you signed, you can prove that to court that I did not sign. So I think he should try maybe get another lawyer, because it doesn't make sense especially that he has said DCI is recognized by the law.
Yeah.
So if they come and they have forensic experts, they're even the ones that come as experts in court to testify. So the fact is he already even has that proof. Because what court will do, they'll call that forensic, the person who did the forensic and comes as a witness and confirms and even shows court this is the signature that was on the guarantor form and this is his original signature, so it's forged. So me, I would advise him to try, and because the way he has said he has really suffered based on this, he should try again going to court. And normally that's why there's an appeal.
The same court or different one?
No, because now the court already, I'm imagining court made a judgment because they said court through, they can do an appeal.
Okay.
Yeah, but now appeal, you can't bring in new facts unless, or maybe they do a review on that same court and said that they bring now the forensic evidence to show that to prove the signature was forged, and then the lender, the SACCO, should prove how these other people were waived. Because imagine if it's 3.9 million. If it's divided among 15 people, it would have been easier to offset that loan compared to just narrowing down to 2 people.
The two of them.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Mulaki, Wakil is here, so you can reach out for more details. Usiogope tena kutupigia simu so that you can get more clarity on that. Good morning, TV47. My name is Betty. Concerning Beatrice's question from Kakamega, kindly tell us about the pay point bit. She had mentioned, I remember her mentioning about the sister changing the pay points. Is that, should that be in the contract you're signing?
Yeah, so when you're signing the contract, of course now everything is clear. For you, when you're looking at the contract as a guarantor, you know this is the pay point and everything. So in case anything's supposed to be anything, it doesn't matter. You know, for a contract, a minor thing, it's a very big impact. So if anything is being changed, you have to be informed. But now that's another thing also, you should be careful, because sometimes they make it general in a way that you are agreeing that any amendments can be made without you being consulted.
Okay.
But they're so devious in a way that they'll put such, and you know that's a very dangerous clause in any contract. The moment you see such a clause, it's so dangerous, because you know terms can be changed to your disadvantage. So it's very important that you ensure.
Okay, all right. And sorry to cut you short, I had alluded to Mulaki calling us na amefanya hivyo. Mulaki, welcome back. Do you have ni swali unataka kuuliza tena ama ni clarification?
I just wanted clarification from the lawyer.
Yes.
Because what happened was, like in our case, evidence came from the DCI, a forensic expert came from the DCI, came to court and gave evidence.
Okay.
That it was a forgery.
All right.
What we are wondering is how did the court come up and say that we did not give sufficient evidence, yet our signatures were taken, sample signatures were taken, they were taken to...
Mulaki, allow me to directly link you kwa wakili ndio akuulize hiyo swali so that upate jibu vizuri.
So, Mulati, hiyo kesi ilikuwa Chief Magistrate Court?
Ilikuwa kwa Magistrate Court, Mumias.
Yeah, so you should have munge appeal. It doesn't make sense. Mnafaa ku appeal to the High Court.
From the DCI.
Yes, your case is it makes, because if you brought in a forensic expert from the DCI, not even an expert from a private practice, so that means your case is strong. You should have appealed. That's why kuna hiyo option ya ku appeal to the court, to the High Court. Mna appeal juu kama mlikuwa Chief Magistrate, mnafaa ku appeal to the High Court. Hiyo kesi ilikuwa lini? Ubaya sasa appeal inakuwa na limited time. Hiyo kesi yenu ilikuwa lini? Judgment ilipeanwa lini? Which month or which year? Judgment uamuzi ilipeanwa lini na magistrate?
Uamuzi ilikuwa last year, early last year.
Early last year.
Okay. Early last year. So ubaya, unajua appeal inakuwa na limited period. So unakonga na at least 60 days ku file your appeal. So hiyo
now what will the advice now?
Because now time ishaenda, but you can try to review. Mnaweza review on the same court. Ama you can get a lawyer appeal out of time. A request for appeal out of time. Courts, the High Court might agree, because you file an application to request court for appeal to be done out of time, out of the required time now of like 60 days.
Okay.
Yes, those are the options that you have. Hiyo ndio options yenye uko nayo.
Right. Thank you for that particular question. Although from Kakamega, I hope umepata your clarification vizuri. That goes to every one of you listening to us. So there was a whole bit of the point, usually Betty as well. And so you could clarify for that as well. What does the pay point mean? Does it mean that a certain location, a geographical location that I have to be as a guarantor? What does it mean when they say, and you see kwa your contract, the right pay point?
Yeah, so may have assumed the issue of pay point is now where the money is being deducted from.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because there's one who was there was introduction that happened. Another person, yeah, it's where they are, because you know it's like now letting go of security. So maybe sometimes the pay point was you're supposed to be, your salary is the one that's deducted, or the shares of your circle.
Right.
So when such circumstances have happened, you have to ensure at least you are supposed to be consulted as a guarantor. So any variation, if the moment as a guarantor you notice something was changed without your consent, you have a right, you have a legal basis to pull out from that guarantee agreement. Yes.
Right. Wakili, because of time and just listening to what the callers and the people conversing to us are telling us, it seems as if the law is leaning mostly towards the person taking this loan than the guarantor. What are your thoughts on that, as well as an umbrella kind of an advice to everyone listening to you? When you either amepigiwa simu leo akaambiwa unaweza kuwa guarantor wangu, what do they really need to know? That take away home. Yes,
yeah.
Wakili.
So okay, first, the way you have said it's sad, the law of contract, that's why there have been bills that have been tried to be passed to ensure, at least to ensure that even though the guarantee can still be there, being a guarantor can still be there, but they ensure at least the focus should be on the debtor, the borrower. But now since the law, that's something that now we cannot change unless now bills are passed and the law is brought in. That's now the first thing you should ensure, you protect yourself before signing. If someone gives you a form, make sure you understand.
Kidogo tu, let me interrupt you as you make your last comments. Dominic kutoka Nairobi, habari asubuhi.
Nzuri sana.
Asante sana kwa kutupigia swali au maoni. I hope umezima TV by the way, Dominic.
Nimezima TV.
Aya, tuuliza swali.
Nauliza. Kuna hii nataka kuchangia mjadala.
Okay.
Kwamba kuna mtu aligarantia mtu alafu baadaye akabadilisha pay point yake. Alafu kuna mwingine naye aligarantia mtu na inaonekana kwamba aliforge signature yake. Swali yangu ni kwamba hiyo pesa alipostiwa account inaenda kwa account ya nani? Ndio lishe yafuatilie kuanzia hapo.
Okay. Right.
Hiyo ndio swali yangu ningependa kuuliza, kwa sababu kama ana complain kwamba from Kakabede kwamba mtu aliforge signature yake 3.something million, na hiyo pesa ikaenda kwa account ya mtu fulani, ungepata through that process alafu apate mtu.
Alright.
Ni hiyo tu. Thank you very much.
So asante sana for watching us this morning. Dominic kutoka Nairobi. Anashangaa pesa inaenda wapi bwana? Watu wana from here to here, lakini inapotelea mahali hapa.
Okay. I didn't hear his question so well.
So he's asking, I think, picking up from what the previous callers have asked, Beatrice asking on behalf of the sister, Ioswali a pay point, and the previous caller we had, Mulaki, on the forged signature and all that, anashanga pesa from one account to the other, where they're going to court and saying, I was not consulted, na pesa yangu ilitolewa, anashanga pesa ilienda wapi?
Okay, so they're wondering like now this, like your money was, you didn't know about the loan completely, and then you just find your money has been deducted.
Yes.
So you're wondering, because you do not agree to even money to be removed, to be taken to another account. So now that's now the issue now with the way I've said, coming back to the agreement, to the guarantee agreement. So you'll never, if you sign that agreement without understanding the terms, you may find those who are part of the terms, because remember this is an agreement that they have just imposed on you. So you might find those who are the terms of that agreement that you are not able to see. Yes.
So Dominic, I hope umejibiwa. You're making your last remarks, but because of time you can keep it brief, vizuri, compact, ndio pia viewer ashike your last thoughts, and then we wrap it up.
Yeah, so here, the way you have said, the law does not protect the guarantor. So as a guarantor, you have to protect yourself. So ensure as much as you're guaranteeing someone, understand why this person is even being guaranteed. Those are factors you should ask yourself. And if this person, is this person able to pay? If in case the salary, maybe their security is the salary. If this person loses the job, you of course you're guaranteeing a person who you know. So if in case this person, is this person able to pay? So ensure, even though you go, and again, if you go ahead make sure this loan guarantee is not unlimited. It's not for entirety. It's for a certain period, and make sure you put a clause where you can pull out. The moment you see this person, like now one of the callers said, the other person is still doing well with his business but is not paying the loan. So ensure you have a clause that you can pull out from the guarantee agreement. Ensure just you've protected yourself. And if you can get legal counsel before you sign the guarantee loan agreement.
All right.
Yes.
Ruth Tanui, an advocate of the High Court, thank you very much for the wise words umetupatia, for all the callers who have called in, and for all those who have talked to us on our socials, 22047, number 8 your WhatsApp. Asante sana. We'll always have these conversations just for you so that you understand the legal quizzes that uko nazo. And in case unaona kuna moja, something about a law that you really, really want to be answered for you, 22047 SMS number 8. Mtuambie ni nini ungependa sana tukujibu. We'll always have lawyers here right for you. And away from matters law, coming up in a few, Milka